Hello everyone, Jolene here from Bookworm Adventure Girl. Welcome back. I hope that you are all doing well. If you are new, thanks for checking out my channel. Please hit subscribe and stick around. It's a new week and today I am starting one of my new series. I talked about reading all the bookshelves, which I have now done a couple of videos where it's kind of like a mini bookshelf tour. And today I am going to do the first reading all the books. And this series is where I highlight one author in which I've read all of their books, sort of, and I'll explain. So there are some authors that only have, one or two books published. So the deal is that they have to have, at least 3 or more books published in order to be highlighted. And also, as is the case with today's authors, I have read all of her fiction books, but I have not read all of her nonfiction. So sometimes it's a category of books. So today, the author that I am going to highlight is Anita Diamond. And I have read all 5 of her fiction books. I've read one of her nonfiction books. So I am going to talk about those. And I'm actually going to rank them. This was hard to do. Anita Diamond is an American author. Her first books were nonfiction, and they're mostly, if not all of them, about Jewish life. Her most recent nonfiction was published in 2021, and it's called Period, End of Sentence. It's a collection of essays about periods that explores the cultural roots of the menstrual injustice. And I will hopefully pick this up this year. That's the plan. Now, for Diamond's books that I have read, I have enjoyed all of them. Diamond is one of my favorite authors, and any of her books I think are worth reading. So out of the 6 books that I've read, coming in at number 6 is Day After Night. This was originally published in 2009, and this story takes place in 1945, right after World War II. It tells the stories of 4 Jewish women with different backgrounds. There's Leonie, Teddy, Shandell, and Zora. And after the war, they make their way to Israel. And they are again interned at Atlit, which is or was a concentration camp run by the British. And this in many ways is historical fiction, and it's at this camp where the women meet. And the story is about their friendship and how they help each other survive. At number 5 is Last Days of Dogtown, which was originally published in 2005. And this story takes place in the early 1800s in a tiny town just north of Boston. The town was eventually deserted, but before that happens, and this is what I remember most about the book, is that the town had some very interesting characters, which Diamond reimagines in the story. And she gives voice to the marginalized people of the community and those who would otherwise be forgotten. My dogs are playing, so sorry if you can hear them. Number 4 is The Good Harbor, which was originally published in 2001. And I remember this book being very emotional. It is in many ways a simple story, but it has so much emotional depth to it. It's a story about 2 women, Kathleen, who is in her late 50s, and Joyce, who is in her early 40s. And Kathleen is diagnosed with breast cancer. And these 2 women, they share their stories with each other, about their families, about writing. They're both writers, and they're both book lovers, and about their secrets. And it's a beautiful story of friendship and, finding the people that we need at the right moments in our lives. Coming in at number 3 is the only nonfiction that I've read of Anita Diamond's. And that is Pitching My Tent. This was originally published in 2003, and it is a collection of Diamond's columns that she wrote over, I think, many years in Boston. So the subtitle kind of gives this away, but these columns are about marriage, motherhood, friendship, religion, and other life experiences. So this was an interesting insight into who Diamant is, and it kind of gave a snapshot of her life. Next at number 2 is The Boston Girl, which was originally published in 2014. And this is a coming-of-age story of Addie Baum. Addie Baum is 80 years old, and she is now telling her granddaughter about her life growing up in Boston in the early 1900s. And she talks about her parents moving to America to make a new life for themselves. She has two, I think they're two older sisters, but two sisters. She talks about her friendships, losses, marriage, and many life adventures. The story is beautifully told, and it just has many of the themes that Diamant is known for. And then finally at number 1, my favorite Anita Diamant book, and probably one of my favorite books of all time, and that is The Red Tent. This book was originally published in 1997, and it is how I first heard of Anita Diamant. This book entered my bones in a way that no other book has, before or since. This is the story of Dinah, who is mentioned very briefly in the book of Genesis. Dinah's father is Jacob, and her mothers are his 4 wives, Rachel, Leah, Zilpah, and Bilhah. And this story is written with great respect to scripture while imagining the lives of these women and telling the story in a way that opens the scriptures up. It also shares the traditions of the Red Tent and the lives of the women of the time. So in 2014, the story was adapted into a miniseries, which was well done, but it wasn't as captivating for me as the novel. And in 2019, the Royal Ontario Museum in Toronto, or the ROM as we call it, they had an exhibit on the Red Tent, which I visited twice, and I will show you some pictures from those trips. It added another layer to the story of the women's friendships and traditions. It's incredible, and it's easy to imagine this tent being used as a gathering space for celebration, community, and rest. So those are the books that I've read from Anita Diamant. As I said, I'm hoping to read her latest nonfiction. And she is an author that I don't stalk her, but I do have my eye on anything that she publishes. So please let me know if you have read any books by Anita Diamant. What are your thoughts? What did you like? What didn't you like? Or maybe let me know if there is an author that you have read all of their books. I look forward to chatting with you in the comments. Thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and don't forget to make every day an adventure.